Tamim didn't only send the dialect, he also revealed extra words that enrich and add to the meaning of the Quran.
Extra words.
When I say words, it means words that are similar in meaning. But in the example, okay, I said to you already, Malik and Malik, Malik and Malik, Tabayyan Tatabbat. You know these words or you never heard of them before?
Malik and Malik, yes.
Malik and Malik, you know, because all Muslims know.
Yeah.
There's so many words like it. Is that the only word? No. It's Tabayyanu and Tatabbat. One's mean to be sure and one's to be investigate. Close meanings.
So they are letters are different.
Letters and difference, yes.
Okay.
And even words, listen.
Where do you learn that from?
Where do you learn that from? From the Quran. Tabayyanu means investigate. Tatabatu means make sure. Two different meanings. Two different words. Two different words and two different meanings as well. Qira'at is the Qira'at discussion. And the Qira'at is talking about the Qira'at. He's talking about the Qira'at, the Ahraf al-Qira'at. He's talking about Hisham al-Hakim.
I was saying this particular PhD individual has been laughed at by academics who are not Muslims.
That's why his arguments are very weak. That's why his arguments are very weak.
You know why? Have you read this methodology? I'm reading. I'm studying. When you have read, then we can comment.
No, but one thing, why are you reading from a Orientalist anyway? Or from someone who has a problem in his methodology?
Someone came along and said, oh, he's got a PhD, so he must be. So the Orientalists looked at it,
No, it's true.
and they said this guy is not a critical scholar. The reason, they gave the reasons. So I'm saying, if someone is saying, Hafs
Yeah.
is the Qira'ah, what else can we even discuss with this?
He's confusing Ahraf with the Qira'at, confusing everything together.
Hafs is Qira'atul Amma. It's 6 movements through the scholars. It's all in 1200 pages. Okay?
Which scholar?
I think Imam Dahabi, I think, talk about Qira'atul Amma. It is come from the Ansar.
الأعمش يمين.
Ansar.
الأعمش ولا الأعمى؟
The reading of Hafs.
Qira'atul Amma.
الأعمى or الأعمى؟
Common recitation. Qira'atul Amma. And it's also Al-Ardal another word for it as well. The final revision. Yes, the final revision. This is all come from the Dr. Rahman al-Salami.
Let me ask you one simple question, brother. One simple question. Did Professor Islam read Surah Al-Fatiha in his prayers? Did he read Malik Yawmiddin or Malik Yawmiddin?
Hafs says Maliki Yawmiddin.
I'm simply asking you. What did Professor Islam read?
Whatever Hafs says. Maliki Yawmiddin. The most common.
So he didn't read Malik Yawmiddin?
No. Because Hafs is the most authentic recitation. But this is the point I was making. No.
Carry on studying. Once you finish this book, you can talk.
Who told you he read Maliki Yawmiddin? Who told that?
Who told you he read Malik Yawmiddin?
No, of course I said the Quran says that. Because the Quran says that, brother. I'm saying
Quran says what?
Quran, Hafs Quran, which is recited by 95 to 95% of the Muslim world.
If we were having the discussion, say about 800 years ago, which recitation would we reading?
Maliki Yawmiddin. Because that's always been the common recitation. Qira'atul Amma. Hafs recitation is.
You really need to be critical of what you read. That's all I can say. If you don't read something critically, then you can believe that you are a turtle.
Critical analysis, critical study of the Quran.
That's precisely the problem.
Who is that by?
Someone is struggling to say it's critical.
History of the Quran.
So basically, all the reading which says Malik Yawmiddin is actually not the reading of the Prophet ﷺ. So Muslims who are reading this, all their prayers are invalid.
No. As long as their intention is true, Allah will forgive from their even if they make mistake, Allah forgive them as long as they got the truth presented to them and they reject that truth, then they can be wrong. But if they never do any other recitation, then Allah will judge them according to that. And I'm saying Hafs is.
Who agrees with him? Apart from you?
This is not his opinion, brother.
So once again,
he's bringing scholars from
my brother.
Classical scholars.
Who agrees with this? Who agrees with this particular PhD scholar?
Who agrees?
Yeah.
You tell me who disagrees.
No, who agrees?
It's not about him.
Okay. The world is east. The world is east and west, right? Okay. I'm saying, I'm saying this is about issues of Qiraat of the Quran, and he rejects it because it comes from the Javadi camp of Quranic school.
Javed Ghamidi, yes, Farahi School of Thought, yeah.
So Shazal Sami is one of the students.
Yes.
Okay, Al Mawlid Institute.
He's a great scholar. Javed Ghamidi is a great scholar.
Of course, because you believe in it. So I'm asking
I agree
you,
with
apart
100%.
from you accepting that, from the east and the west, let's start with, say, the Indian subcontinent where he's based from. Which non-Ghavidi camp scholar accepts what he says? Name me a scholar.
These scholars agree with him.
Yeah. Who is already not a camp in Javadi camp.
Well, the one who just passed away in India, Maulana Wahiduddin Khan, he's a great scholar. He agrees with Javed Ghamidi a lot.
And you ask about Javadi Ghamidi, who agrees that this is what he said? Everything else is erroneous, false, and this is the only Quran.
I don't know which scholars agree, which not.
Should it not? No. For the last 1400 years, Islamic history has been passed down to us. And finally, in India, you have one person, a school of thought, the Javadi.
Farahi School of Thought, yes.
Not necessarily Farahi.
Javed Ghamidi is a student of the
Sure. Suddenly, they seem to be the beacon of the world. Everyone else is wrong, and they're the one right. Remember what happened with Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadian in India? Everyone else is wrong, he is right. In India and Pakistan, we had many risings of individuals who consider themselves to be
I think
the right, and everyone else
you are
is wrong.
portraying him wrong and me wrong.
No, that's why I'm asking you.
Ahmed Ghamidi says,
Can I ask you again?
He believes in all the
Who
correct.
else?
He doesn't disagree with any scholar. He says
300 years ago, name me the scholars, region by region, who agrees with them, region by region. Start with the subcontinent, let's go to Afghanistan.
300 years ago.
Yeah, 300 years ago.
They don't exist 300 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Give me 300 years ago who agreed with what he said.
Another point. Point here is, he says we have to present our case. He as a Muslim we should see which is right, which is wrong.
Those issues with him in 2016.
No,
but they
what my brother is doing is, he's doing his taqleed, blind taqleed. We are Muslim, we are not mukallid of any scholar. We say whatever is right and whatever is wrong, we judge what comes to us. We don't follow scholar. Allah says obey Allah and obey the messenger, not the scholar.
Yeah, we have
So,
to disagree.
I'm not blindly I'm saying let's present all the case, and which is right, just pick the right and reject the wrong. Because if somebody disagrees with you, that doesn't mean they are wrong. We as a Muslim, we must present all the candidates scholars. He's bringing all the classic scholars, and he said, make your own mind. Where is right and where is wrong. So this, how can we believe the Quran can be in different
Then,
recitations?
we disagree with
Quran only come in one recitation. The rest is the human beings make mistakes. Quran only come. And we say Hafs Quran, which is recited by 95 to 97% Muslims in the world, that is Qiraatul Amma, the original recitation. And that's why it's the most common. That's why Allah says Allah has preserved the Quran, and through this recitation, yes, there are false recitations of the Quran. We must acknowledge that there are some errors in some recitations, and they are not original one. An original one is only one, and that's why I bring in one hadith. My brother, he just walks away from me when I present one hadith. How come Umar Radiyallahu anhu for 15 years didn't know the Quran came in 7 different recitations? 15 years he didn't know that. How is possible? Umar Radiyallahu anhu was the closest companion of Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He was told 15 years later the Quran came in 7 recitations. That cannot be right. The hadith has a hidden defect in that. But my Muslim brothers, they don't want to reject it. Hisham bin Hakim's hadith with Umar argument. Hisham bin Hakim only became Muslim after Fatah Makkah, 2 years before Muhammad died, and he was reciting differently to Umar. Either the hadith is false, or either Umar didn't know for 15 years that Muhammad was preaching in 7 different recitations. How is that possible? It's like saying that your wife for 15 years suddenly starts speaking Chinese, and you never know, oh, did you speak Chinese? She said, did you know that I speak Chinese? How bizarre that is. So how Umar didn't know for 15 years? This is my question for asking my brother. Or they say he probably forgot. One brother say he probably forgot. How can he forget such an important thing? The Quran coming in 7 different recitations. And Al-Suyuti says this hadith is among the mutashabihat. Very problematic that hadith is. But my Muslim brother, because it's in Bukhari, they don't want to reject it. This is the problem. Bukhari was a human being, is a great scholar, but Bukhari did make mistakes. Even scholars like Sheikh Albani, he's corrected some hadiths from Bukhari. So we must as a Muslim acknowledge Bukhari is not Quran. Bukhari is not infallible like Quran. Quran is infallible. Bukhari, though is a great scholar, but he's a human being, and he did make mistakes. But some of my brothers don't want to accept that, and I pity that. Why? Why we are so brainwashed? We must say Quran is our yardstick criteria. Anything goes against the Quran, we will respect. Say, I'm sorry, we're not taking it. Some of my Muslim brothers, and these kind of scholars exactly do that. They say no, we never put Bukhari as pedestal as Quran. But these Muslims then they say these people are heretics, and they probably call me heretic as well. And I don't mind if you want to call me heretic. If you can't correct me, then I'm sorry, you can't say follow me.
But I think they might be scared because if you start unthreading the hadith, then what else are you going to do?
I get that. That's why I say, look, you should not reject any hadith just because you don't like the sound of it. No, you must thoroughly go deep into it. Why do you think that hadith is problematic? Because you
Who's
like
the authority to do that? Who do you think has got the authority?
No, what we have Quran. Quran is the authority. First of all, there are great scholars like Ibn Salah. Ibn Salah is a great authority in hadith. He writes a book called Muqaddama, one of the greatest science book of science of hadith. Ibn Salah, and many scholars of hadith get it from him. And he writes criteria. What criteria? He should not contradict Quran. He should not contradict Sunnah. He should not contradict Islamic principles. He should not contradict common sense. He says that.
I agree with you.
That's what he says. But that's what I'm saying. How Umar Radiallahu anhu for 15 years didn't know the Quran came in revealed. Not Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's one thing is allowing people to recite. He said he revealed in 7 verses.
Yeah, but brother, when I put it to simplicity, that simplicity, like we just explained to them. Now, if we're talking about the people of hadith, this is a knowledge which is a very, very, very deep and very, very big. No anybody can say, I have the knowledge of the hadith. Because we know, and the scholar know, the Prophet ﷺ, he only said more or less about the scholars say about 20,000 hadith. Now, at the time now, there is over 200,000 hadith where people they say, the Prophet said this, the Prophet said that, and some of them, like you said, yes, Al-Qaeda, if you go with the Quran, yes, we take it. If it doesn't go against, but the thing is, we are simple people. You cannot put it to him. You have to go and look because we can't. I can't go and look.
But if you're
so
a
why I
simple
do?
person,
Just a minute. For me, I'm a naql. I read and I pass the message. But I have no knowledge. Only in Arabic language. If the brother read the Quran, Hadith in Arabic, you have to understand Arabic language. Now, if you haven't got that,
If you know Arabic, sometimes it's difficult.
actually, that's not your problem. You have the explanation. But I cannot say that the Prophet Muhammad said this, you say that even in English. I can translate, fiqh. Fiqh. Fiqh is to take ahkam from the Quran and the Sunnah. And the chapter 1 in the fiqh, they say, من اجتهد وأصاب له أجرين ومن أخطأ له أجر. The one who hit the point, you have 2 hasana, and the one who was mistaken, you take 1 hasana. So both of them, they're covered up. So for you, you're covered as a normal person like me. But the hadith is a big subject.
Brother, as long as you acknowledge that hadith is not perfect and hadith is open for correction, as long as you acknowledge that, that's the start. Then the rest you have to do your own struggle. Hadith is not perfect. Bukhari, not hadith. Sorry, Bukhari and Muslim is not perfect. That's what we're talking about there. Do you say perfect?
No.
As long as you
Hadith is from Allah.
No.
Listen, brother, listen. Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad from Allah.
Yes.
And the hadith it was from the Prophet, from Allah to the Prophet Muhammad.
Talking about the preservation.
No, I'm talking about hadith.
No, you misunderstand. Hadith the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As long as it's proof that anything comes from the mouth of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is without doubt is perfect.
Message.
No, yeah, absolutely.
It's a message.
It's written down.
But there's a Bukhari and Muslim.
I'm not talking
They are
about
not
Bukhari. I'm talking about the hadith.
No, I'm talking about Bukhari and Muslim.
What the Prophet Muhammad said in the hadith is revealed to him from Allah, not from himself.
No, hadith doesn't reveal from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, Allah. No, brother, no.
What he's saying is
Brother, are you saying that everything Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke is revealed from Allah?
Yes.
Allahu Akbar.
Yes.
Have you read Surah Abasa? Have you read Surah Abasa? Abasa Bataballah?
Yes.
If everything comes from Muhammad Allah and Allah is perfect, how Allah telling Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam why you told the blind man, why you told him off? If everything revealed to him by Allah and Allah is perfect, why Allah is correcting him for why you told the blind man go away?
You see,
No, this is
misunderstanding.
This is wrong, brother.
Listen,
No. You don't say that everything.
He was telling. Listen.
This is not a human being's right.
I said,
Quran is the revelation.
let me listen. He talked about Abasa wa Tawalla. He took from one point of view as a mistake from the Prophet. I don't take it that way. I've taken it as a lesson to us. Allah, lesson to show us we cannot, focus on the people who are with high position and leave the poor people. This is a lesson. Not he was telling the Prophet why you make a mistake.
Why?
Israelites will return to take down Islam.